the AI is a very different kind of evaluation. It's not like the calculator or the computers are there.
What I seek in any of my new person that I'm hiring is you should be problem solver.
AI is getting deployed everywhere, cutting across all industries and sectors, from healthcare to manufacturing.
The dangerous tasks which are supposed to be performed by humans, they are now being performed by autonomous robots and drones and other things.
Hello and a warm welcome to a very special podcast series, Future Proof. I'm your host, Gaurav Chaudhary. We bring you this series in collaboration with GLA University, which is at the forefront of training batches and generations of students and youth for modern day job demand. We're at a very transformative period of human history. Everything that is visible and tangible is changing, and changing how. Transformations are not taking place in a decade. Transformations are not taking place in 5 years, not in 3 years, not in 2 years, not in 1 year. Transformations are taking place on a real-time basis as we speak, and literally. Artificial intelligence is more than a buzzword. It has affected our lives positively and also sometimes disruptively. It's very relevant for a country like India. We are the world's fourth largest economy, the fastest growing major economy, and soon going to be the third largest economy by all estimates by the end of this decade, if not earlier. But importantly, we are also the world's most populous nation, which means that we also have to create the largest number of jobs because there are millions of people who are joining the queue of job seekers every year. The challenge as well as the opportunity here is in this thing. We have to train them to be relevant for modern day jobs, not just when they're entering the job market, but also throughout the professional career of a few decades. Skilling, reskilling, constant reskilling is going to be the order of the day. And artificial intelligence is going to get even more embedded. Artificial intelligence is going to replace jobs. But the silver lining is artificial intelligence is also going to create jobs by multiples in number of jobs that they probably would have replaced. That is where the opportunities lie. To talk about all of this and much more, I have two experts with me who knows these things more than the back of their palms. They've been tracking this and they have a ringside view of what's happening in this world, particularly how artificial intelligence is going to shape the future of work and how do you train students and job seekers to remain relevant in the modern day workplace. I have with me Snigdha Gupta, co-founder Skewb Analytics, and Professor Ashok Bhansali, Dean, Institute of Engineering and Technology, Department of Computer Science, GLA University. Welcome to the show, Snigdha and Professor Bhansali. Delighted to have you here.
So thanks, Samia.
Thank you.
Snigdha, first to you. And as I said, it's no longer a buzzword. It's here. It's in our lives. Artificial intelligence. Someone who has a front seat view, if I may say so, of what's happening here in this space. What are the trends and patterns that you're seeing, particularly in AI and its correlation to job, the changes that are taking place in that place?
A very good question. And I think gone are those days where AI was being deployed as an experimentation. Mm-hmm. It is a real time and people are embedding it across industries, mostly being used currently in automation of processes or rule-based solutions that the people were using. And you're very right, it is disrupting certain workforces and the work that we are doing on a regular basis. But it is also creating a lot of job opportunity to be relevant to this kind of a change that is being now adopted for efficiency, proficiency within the industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very well said. And I think this is where, Professor Bhansali, someone like you can throw some light on, given the deep insights that you have. AI adoption is something that is a given now. It's normalized, it's mainstream, and it's something that we cannot ignore. We have to accept it. and how do you see, first of all, AI impacting the job market? But more than that, how are you training your students and skilling them to remain relevant where AI adoption is very, very rapid?
So we need to understand how things are evolving. The AI is a very different kind of evolution. It's not like the calculator or the computers or the internet.
Mhm.
It's a complete paradigm shift. It has changed the way the people used to think.
Mhm.
It has changed the way the people used to, work. It has changed the way the surroundings used to work.
Mhm.
So everything is undergoing a significant change, and that is
Absolutely.
what we call a paradigm shift.
Mhm.
So it's like an industrial revolution,
Mhm.
wherein I believe that jobs are not shrinking or expanding, rather they are undergoing a transformation. And historically, as you said, the technology has always created more jobs than it destroyed.
That's right.
And that is what I believe in.
Absolutely.
So only the nature of the jobs will change. And I'm sure that there are more, new types of jobs which requires newer skills, AI-enabled skills kind of things will come up, and we will like.
Absolutely. You make a very pertinent point, which is about a paradigm shift that is taking place, and all of us are involved or somehow participant in that paradigm shift. Uh, Snigdha, if I had to ask you, what are the skills that you think are the most important for AI adoption, particularly from a jobs and works point of view, what would your response be?
I think the core fundamentals are very, very important. And from that perspective, from a data analyst to a scientist to a programmer, programming language, mathematics, your basics, and the algorithms that you're deploying in the new age world of artificial intelligence or machine learning, where you would be required to understand not that I've used this buzzword, but what goes behind it.
Right.
Supervised, unsupervised learning,
Mhm.
your neural nets, how does this work, right? And definitely logical thinking.
Right.
So what I seek in any of my new person that I'm hiring is you should be problem solver.
Right.
Rest we can get done.
Absolutely. It's
So-
the attitude of problem solving and critical
Exactly.
thinking that's going to make you stand out and remain relevant in an AI, increasingly AI embedded world and job market. Professor Bhansali, that brings me to you. GLA University is at the forefront of training students. You have a very innovative approach to educating students and skilling them. What are the special skills and what are the kind of courses that you're offering, particularly in this area, in AI adoption?
Okay, so there are two things. Once you talk about the skills, and another one is what different things are newer courses that we are offering. So
Right.
let me address it one by one.
Right.
So skilling is always desired, but the model has been changed now. Like we say these days, it's a 3D model. 3D model means the tech skill,
Yeah.
the domain skills, and the human skill. Everything
That's
is
right.
required. As Snigdha said very rightly, the tech skill is of paramount importance.
Right.
It is something which is non-negotiable.
Right.
You have to have a very strong foundation and fundamentals of all the core subjects as well as of emerging tech domains.
Right.
So this is required, of course. Second thing is the domain skill these days play a very important role. IT or AI, what for? For healthcare, for manufacturing, for automation, for supply chain, for BFSI or what? So elementary understanding and elementary knowledge of that particular sectoral domains is something which is desired, so that you really can figure out for what particular problems
Right.
you are figuring out a solution with the help of AI. And the third skill that is becoming more important these days is the human skill.
Right.
The
Absolutely.
critical thinking, the
Yeah.
problem solving abilities, the leadership, the collaboration, the team spirit. These are something which AI will never be able to help you out.
Absolutely.
And so the importance of these things become, very, very critical at this point in time.
Absolutely. AI, after all, is artificial intelligence. It cannot.
Correct.
It is not human intelligence. So there'll always be a space for
So
human
AI, it will always augment the human intelligence.
Right.
So there must be someone who will take a strategic call.
Right.
There must be someone who will engage with the clients and will understand their nuances of behavior, the nuances of, approaches, the profit loss, the strategic directions. So these are the skills which are gaining, more importance these days.
Absolutely. So how to essentially deploy AI to maximum efficiency and
Correct.
productivity and effectiveness, which brings me to you, Snigdha. Let's change tack a bit. How is AI, very straightforward question actually, how is AI being deployed in your industry and how do you see it, going forward, getting more and more embedded?
So the best thing that I see of, definitely from automation point of view, and which has reduced a lot of erroneous jobs that were happening earlier. It has increased the predictability. It has increased the efficiency of the content. So it is being deployed by lawyers. It is being deployed by insurance companies. It is being deployed by the blue collar jobs are kind of where, all the administrative works, etc., can be handled much better. What requires for us to make it better or usable is, it's just not adoption of AI.
Right.
It's about creation and how you are enabling it for your job. So as he said very right, it's a subject matter expertise. If I'm only a cut, copy, paste, it's not going to help me out because the things are changing so fast.
So repetitive jobs are not going to help you.
Exactly. So how smartly you're using it to be as your enabler or your tool. And that's precisely what's going to help each of us as individuals,
Right.
as leaders, and as the business creators.
Absolutely. Just to add on to that, and one very, very brief supplementary. What are and you talked about opportunities, but what are the challenges?
So challenges are for the people or for us who were regularly thinking of getting out of a college. We are on a track. This is what we learned. And by this we can retire. Gone are those days.
Right.
Today, there are job opportunities which are emerging with a span of 6 months. There was a new job which I remember, which was out there and everybody was talking about it on LinkedIn. It's called prompt engineers. Right? So these are new things that are coming up like mushrooms.
Right.
They are changing, they are required, but then it's obsolete.
Yeah.
Because now with the LLMs, with the AI itself, you can now machine and you can train these algorithms to do
Right.
it for you faster and better.
Absolutely.
But you come into picture in a perspective where you bring in your human intelligence, and that's how you are going to make that difference. So definitely the blue collar jobs have a lot of pressure right now, but the adaptability and your adoption of reskilling yourselves, because somebody has to deploy it.
That's right.
So being a digital savvy, tech savvy is what is going to take you to the next level.
Absolutely. Professor Bhansali, Snigdha talked about obsolescence, and the obsolescence has become so very rapid that there are new jobs being created every 6 months and old jobs are getting obsolete because they're being replaced by more efficient machines and artificial intelligence. From an educator's point of view, it throws up new challenges for you because it's, AI is getting deployed everywhere, cutting across all industries and sectors, from healthcare to manufacturing, to not just to enhance productivity, but also efficiency and qualitatively effectiveness. How are you training students to deal with this?
So it's a very interesting question. See, being as a university or an educational institute, we have a larger responsibility
Right.
towards the society and nation.
Right.
So we really are not creating a product. We are creating somebody's career. So the product life cycle there is 30 years, 40 years, and even beyond.
Right.
So it is very, very important that we just don't teach him AI. It is important for us to prepare him for the AI-driven world.
Right.
That is very important. Second thing is, as she said very rightly, that lifelong learning is something that is becoming an essential skill these days. You have to continuously upskill, reskill yourselves
Right.
so that you stay relevant, not just survive, but thrive as well.
Absolutely.
That is very, very important. Secondly, what did you ask? I just missed it.
So how are you training your students for different
Yeah.
sectoral jobs? Because AI is getting deployed in all sectors. Very, very
So
rapidly.
I told you one thing is a 3D model.
Yeah.
The tech skills, the domain skills, and the human skills. Beyond these, the project plays a very important role because it's a culmination of all the skills. The interdisciplinary nature of the jobs is always there. It's been becoming more and more important to be an expert of multiple domains.
That's right.
So you have to have a horizontal as well as a vertical expertise.
Absolutely.
And that is where we see that it is not just the development of the project. At GLA working on a philosophy which is from project to product.
Right.
So it's just not development, rather to deploy that project. When you deploy, a whole lot of new skills come into the picture. Once it is deployed, then you need to see what kind of data is being collected over a period of time. How do you analyze and look into the data? So it is deploy, it is deep dive into the data and take a decision for the fine tuning and many other things.
Absolutely.
So this is how the things need to be taken forward so that we prepare our students better for the upcoming, industry challenges and career opportunities.
Indeed. Snigdha, if I may come to you, what is that one piece of advice that you will give to an individual who's seeking to transition to an AI role, and what are the skills required for that kind of a role?
I think it's very important for any individual who's getting into the AI space is the fundamentals and their foundational core understanding, which comprise of three aspects. Programming skills. Definitely you have to understand the languages, and you cannot be a beginner there. So
Right.
you have to be an intermediate or a proficient.
Right.
Secondly, it would entail your mathematics. So you should have the basics of linear algebra, calculus, because that's what goes behind the algorithms and
Right.
creating it.
Right.
Okay. Third would be, what is AI, right? So you have learned about supervised learning, unsupervised learning, neural nets. So you should be aware of what it is, because
Right.
if you do not understand the biases that are being created by the data inputs that you're putting in, you'll not be able to give a right answer or solution.
Right.
Third, logical thinking and your problem solving skills. Definitely the core and tech, right? Wherein you have to understand the AWS cloud servers.
Right.
Because if you do not understand your backend, the CI/CD pipelines, how do I integrate it? How do I ensure that my machine is powerful enough to give you a simulation which runs a billions of simulations
Absolutely.
in less than a nanosecond?
Right.
So it's a collaborative view from core to tech to programming.
That's right.
So that's how you will be developing and working around.
Absolutely. Professor Bhansali, in your view, do you think AI will be net job destroyers or net job gainers?
So I'm a very positive person, and I always believe, and as we have discussed already, that historically any technology that has created more jobs than it destroyed. This is one. But of course, we have to be very, very careful when it comes to the society, because there are a lot of people, there is digital divide, there are people who do not have access to the technology, equitability, and all these things come into picture. So the government policies, the government's role, and the societal role in overall upskilling and reskilling and providing support to these people becomes very, very important.
Absolutely.
And as you look into the market, so as I said, it's undergoing a transformation. We really do not know what will happen next, but then I'm very positive that there will be a whole lot of newer kind of roles. As we know that trust engineers, AI ethics specialists, data engineer, ML ops engineers. So these are the new jobs that we never heard a decade back. So a whole lot of new jobs will be created. Only thing is that we are shifting from one particular role to another particular role.
Absolutely.
And there are a whole lot of positivity if you look into the overall space. The productivity is being improved. The dangerous tasks which are supposed to be performed by humans, they are now being performed by autonomous robots and drones and other things. So when this productivity enhances, efficiency enhances, it means that profitability is increasing.
Right.
So this brings more happiness and more money to the society.
Absolutely.
Which is good for everybody.
Professor Bhansali, very briefly, just give me one illustration or an example of the kind of AI project or an assignment that your students currently probably is working at GLA University.
So we are probably the first university in India who is, implementing very innovative approaches for assessment projects.
Okay.
We assess the programming languages courses through continuous codathons. It's not pen paper based. It's not an hour of assessment.
Right.
So this is a very big shift from the traditional assessment approaches. The project plays a very important role in its overall assessment grades. So a lot of projects are being done. As I say, we just don't just encourage students to develop a project.
Right.
We encourage him to deploy.
Right.
We encourage him to dive deeper to look into the data and take a decision.
Right.
So if I talk about a couple of projects, then we have built our own projects wherein our students undergo mock interview simulation
Right.
through this AI-based platform. So they appear for the interview. The platform asks the questions which are generated by AI-driven system, and then perform analysis and gives him the areas of improvement, his competitive score compared to other benchmarks and kind of things. So that's our in-house product. Accordingly, like we are working on many projects and we are working on a new dimension which we call as co-development. So we are working with many industries wherein we are co-developing projects. One of the project is the smart yoga mat.
Okay.
So that is fitted with a lot of sensors, IoT sensors, and the AI tech built in on that. So what kind of postures you are putting in, what kind of calories are being burnt out, whether you are doing it right or not, and all kind of sensors will be able to assess whole lot of data and will be able to predict your health analytics well in advance.
Right. Absolutely. No, very well said. It's a very, very interesting project. Professor Bhansali, how are you preparing your students for the new brave world of AI? And what are the kind of new courses and programs that are on offer from GLA University?
Yeah, as you know that at GLA, we are not just, teaching AI, rather we are preparing AI workforce.
Right.
And accordingly, we have introduced many new courses. Let me share you a couple of courses. One course that we introduced is BTech Honors Program with specialization in AI and analytics. It is being run in partnership with Intel and NEC.
Okay.
Another program we have is BTech Computer Science and Engineering with specialization in AI/ML.
Right.
And that's in partnership with Microsoft.
Right.
And let me share with you, we believe a lot in experiential learning, project and problem-based learning. And we have set up a whole lot of center of excellences and laboratories in partnership with Capgemini, the Microsoft, the Intel and NEC, the Wipro, the Tech Mahindra, and many more.
Right.
So these are there to support and help students learning better and preparing them better for the job market or the industries.
Absolutely. Very well said, and very relevant courses, if I may say so. So this is the right time, right note to actually end this conversation. We could have gone on and on, but very thank you so much, Professor Bhansali and Snigdha, for taking the time out and dropping by to have this conversation with us and sharing your deep insights and perspective. That's it from us for this episode of Future Proofed. I hope you liked the episode. The speakers were the experts, brought in your deep insights and perspective, and there's a lot of inspirational words to take away from this episode. We'll be back again soon with a fresh new episode. Until then, stay curious, stay safe, take care.